This is us, living in the most powerful time in all of history. We build, we destroy, we create, we consume. We move faster, think faster, live faster. But have you ever stopped and asked, how did we get here? How did everything begin? Before the cities, before the machines, before humans even existed, before life took its first breath, before Earth had form, before time had meaning, there was nothing. And then, everything. This is where our story begins. Before time had a name, before light had a source, there was nothing, no space, no sound, no existence. And then, in a single moment, everything changed. The universe was born in an instant of unimaginable energy. Time began, space expanded, the laws of reality took shape. From chaos came order. Tiny particles collided, merged, and created the first atoms. Hydrogen, helium, the building blocks of everything. Gravity pulled matter together, shaping the first stars. These stars burned fiercely, lighting up the dark universe. Inside them, new elements were forged. Carbon, oxygen, the ingredients of life itself. When stars died, they exploded, scattering these elements across space. From their ashes, new stars were born. And in one small corner of this vast universe, a story was about to begin. From dust and chaos, a planet is born. Leftover fragments of stars begin to gather, pulled together by an invisible force, colliding, merging, growing. A young Earth begins to take shape. But this world is not calm. It is a burning sphere of fire and stone. Surface boiling, constantly reshaping. Meteorites rain down without mercy. Each impact adding more mass, more heat. Slowly, gravity tightens its grip, and deep inside, the core ignites. Over time, the chaos begins to settle. The surface cools, slowly forming a crust, a fragile shell over a restless heart. Steam rises as gases escape the deep. The first atmosphere begins to form, and then something remarkable begins. A world once made of fire prepares for life. Life didn't begin with complexity. It began with simplicity. In the vast oceans of early Earth, something extraordinary was forming. Microscopic life, invisible to the eye. Single-celled organisms, the first living beings. They drifted, floating in ancient waters, feeding, surviving, existing. And then, something changed. They began to divide. One became two. Two became many. Life was learning to grow, adapting, changing, evolving. For millions of years, this silent process continued. Slowly, complexity began to emerge. Cells joined together, working as one. New forms of life began to appear, still simple, but no longer alone. The oceans became alive in ways never seen before, a hidden world beneath the surface, where life quietly prepared for something greater, a foundation for everything to come. From these tiny beginnings, the story of life would unfold, and the Earth would never be the same again. Life learns to adapt, and evolution begins its long experiment. For millions of years, life keeps changing, testing new forms, keeping what works, leaving behind what doesn't. And then, something extraordinary happens. The oceans burst with life, a sudden explosion of new creatures, strange bodies unlike anything before. Some crawl along the ocean floor, others drift, carried by the currents, each one trying to survive.
Eyes begin to form, sensing the world for the first time. Movement becomes more controlled, faster, sharper, more precise. Some develop armor, others develop ways to attack. A silent battle begins beneath the waves, predator and prey locked in endless struggle. And through this struggle, life becomes stronger. Among them, the first fish begin to appear, creatures that can truly swim. They move with purpose, with direction. The ocean is no longer still. It is alive, dynamic, ever-changing. And this explosion of life will shape everything that follows.
For millions of years, giants ruled the earth, creatures of immense size and unstoppable strength. They walked across vast lands, forests, plains, and ancient seas. Some were peaceful, others were hunters. A world balanced between life and death. Day after day, the cycle continued. Life thrived in every corner. But nothing lasts forever. One day, the sky changed. A blazing rock racing through space, growing brighter, closer, and then impact. The earth trembled. Fire spread across the land. Darkness filled the sky. The world grew cold, silent. One by one, the giants disappeared. The rulers of earth were gone. But life did not end. In the shadows, a new story was beginning.
After the fall, the earth was silent. The giants were gone. The world felt empty, but not lifeless. In the shadows, small creatures survived, quiet, unnoticed, but ready. With no giants to fear, they began to explore. Across land once ruled by giants, they searched for food, for shelter, and slowly they began to grow. New forms started to appear: fur, warmth, protection. They adapted to a changing world. Some climbed, some ran, some burrowed beneath the ground, each one finding its place. And with time, they became stronger, smarter, more aware, their world expanding. Life was rising again. From the smallest survivors came new rulers of Earth, not giants of size, but giants of adaptation. And then something new appeared, a different kind of creature. Not the strongest, not the fastest, but something was different. They could think, they could learn, and they could remember. They began to shape their world, using tools, hunting together, working as one. They discovered fire, and everything changed. Fire brought warmth, light in the darkness, and protection. They began to communicate, sharing ideas, passing knowledge. They formed groups, built shelters, and created the first communities. They were no longer just surviving, they were beginning to live. And slowly, they began to change the world in ways no creature ever had before. For thousands of years, humans wandered the earth, hunting, gathering, following the rhythm of nature. But slowly, something changed. They began to stay in one place. They planted seeds and waited. For the first time, they grew their own food. Agriculture was born, and everything changed. No longer moving, they built homes, stronger shelters, closer together. Villages began to form. People worked together, sharing roles, creating order. Time passed, and villages grew into cities. More people, more ideas, more complexity. They created systems, rules, trade, leadership. The first civilizations were born. From simple beginnings, humans had begun to shape the world. As civilizations grew, they reached beyond their borders, exploring distant lands, crossing unknown territories.
They built roads and connected worlds. Trade began to flourish. Goods, ideas, cultures, flowing from place to place. But with growth came conflict. Empires rose and fought for dominance. Battles shaped history. Leaders emerged, guiding nations. Laws were created, bringing order to chaos. Knowledge began to grow. Writing, recording, preserving ideas across time. Science, philosophy, new ways of understanding the world. Art, culture, human expression flourished. The world became more connected, more advanced, and more powerful. And all of it was leading to something even greater.
And then everything accelerated. Change came faster than ever before. Humans began to build at a new scale. Cities grew taller and spread across the land. Machines were created, changing how people lived. Travel became faster. Distances became smaller. Information began to flow instantly. The world became connected like never before. But with progress came challenges. Conflicts grew larger, impacting the entire world. The balance of nature was tested, and the future became uncertain. But still, humanity continued, learning, adapting, searching for answers, reaching beyond the earth, exploring the unknown. And yet, the story is not finished. It is still being written by us.